Hi there ladies and gentlemen, this is Eastwood for Life fan, and this is movie pickups update for the month of July 2019. And we'll start off with the DVDs first, and the first one is a Western that really does need a Blu-ray release, and this is the last Western that Sam Peckinpah directed, and this is Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, starring James Coburn, Kris Kristofferson and also Bob Dylan. And there are two cuts of this movie. Great Western, not as good as The Wild Bunch in my opinion. And you do get Jason Robards, he pops up in this one as well. But hoping for maybe Warner Archives or maybe Kino Lorber, two US companies, to finally release this great Western on Blu-ray in Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. Another Chuck Norris movie, and it's kind of like a rip-off to the successful and popular kiddies movies Turner and Hooch and K9. Turner and Hooch, which had Tom Hanks, and K9 had James Belushi. But this is Top Dog, Chuck Norris's last movie that had a cinema release, and it was directed by his brother Aaron Norris. And Top Dog, not as good as those two movies that I mentioned. And this is the US release of this buddy cop action movie, and I will be doing a Chuck Norris collection video very shortly. And the last two DVDs are two Steven Seagal movies. Much prefer his earlier work, and this is the UK DVD release of Fire Down Below. Actually not seen this one. There's no Blu-ray release of this movie. And then also picked up The Patriot, starring Steven Seagal. And this was his first movie that went direct to DVD release. Onto the Blu-rays now, and still with Steven Seagal. Picked up the Steven Seagal collection, and pretty good price for 5 movies. Peak Steven Seagal: Under Siege, first movie; Under Siege 2, Hard to Kill, Nico, and Above the Law, or it's also known as, and Executive Decision, which he's not in the movie that much. You do get two parts of this release, and you get the first two Under Siege movies, and the first one is probably his most successful movie in the box office, where Steven Seagal plays a former US Navy SEAL, and he's working as a cook on this US battleship, Navy battleship, which gets taken over by mercenaries, as Tommy Lee Jones is the leader of the gang of mercenaries. Very good movie, the first one. Second one not as good, as the villain role wasn't as strong as Tommy Lee Jones' performance in the first movie, which he carried so well. And Under Siege 2 was based on a train. Not seen that for a while. And then you get Hard to Kill. A cop falls into a coma, and Steven Seagal comes back to avenge the death of his wife. And in this movie you get Kelly LeBrock, who was at that time known for being in movies like Weird Science and The Woman in Red, stunning woman who Steven Seagal went on to marry. Then the other two movies, Nico, Above the Law, which was his first movie, and a real good cast for his first movie. You do get Pam Grier in the movie and a very young Sharon Stone, as well as top villain in these cop movies, Henry Silva. And then Executive Decision, movie starring Kurt Russell, and there is a small part with Steven Seagal in that movie, so it's not really a Steven Seagal movie as such, but nice set. Then you can pick this up for a real cheap price. So if you like Steven Seagal, then this is a highly recommended box set to pick up. And two more Steven Seagal movies. Marked for Death, which is my favourite Steven Seagal movie. I remember watching this at my local cinema. Steven Seagal takes on Jamaican drug lords and he goes against Screwface, very good villain. And in my opinion, the martial arts fighting scenes are best displayed in this movie, in Marked for Death. And this is the UK release. And the last movie is Out for Justice. This is a US Blu-ray release. Early 90s. Steven Seagal goes up against Italian-American mafia gangsters in this one. Highly violent movie, this one. And yet again, Steven Seagal, he plays a cop in this one. A few westerns on Blu-ray, and I picked up this release by Dorado Films, and this release is limited to 600 copies, and it's two spaghetti westerns. You get the 7 from Texas, and you also get an extra in a $100,000 for Lassiter. These are two early spaghetti westerns. 7 from Texas being from 1964, and you get like a booklet with this movie. I'll quickly go through this. And you also get, this 7 from Texas and $100,000 for Lassiter. And these two movies are directed by Joaquin Luis Romero, who was more known for making the horror spaghetti western Cutthroats 9, which is a Spanish spaghetti western. And you do get a little booklet in here talking about the movies and the genre of spaghetti westerns. And you do get some art cards as well, which is nice to have. So a nice release from Dorado Films, and this is a US label, and it is region 3. Bit surprising to see two fairly unknown early spaghetti westerns get such a great release as this, because there are other spaghetti westerns that are worthy of a Blu-ray release. The 7 from Texas and the $100,000 for Lassiter. And some more westerns, but this is American westerns. This is the Magnificent Seven collection, and you get 4 movies. You get the original Magnificent Seven movie, directed by John Sturges, the classic from 1960, and you also get the sequels, The Return of the Magnificent Seven, The Guns of the Magnificent Seven, and the Magnificent Seven Ride. Quickly get these ones out. And this one's such a classic. Yul Brynner, Steve McQueen, Charles Bronson, James Coburn. Should not be missing in anybody's collection. This one, obviously, they're not as good as the other movies. Lee Van Cleef was in the Magnificent Seven Ride. Guns of the Magnificent Seven, George Kennedy, and Yul Brynner in The Return of the Magnificent Seven. So a nice set for 4 westerns. So a great set to the Magnificent Seven movies. Next one's a Clint Eastwood movie that's never had a Blu-ray release, released by Warner Archives. This is Bronco Billy, comedy drama movie. Clint Eastwood and his team of entertainers, they go on the road, and actually this Wild West circus act movie, I really enjoyed this one, even though Eastwood got panned for this role in this movie. Didn't do that great in the box office back in 1980, but just good to see this movie get a Blu-ray release finally. And you get a lot of the regular faces in this movie who appeared in Every Which Way But Loose and Any Which Way You Can. Finally released on Blu-ray, Bronco Billy. And another Eurocrime release, and this is from Grindhouse Releasing. This is The Tough Ones, also known as Rome Armed to the Teeth, directed by Umberto Lenzi. Another great Eurocrime movie starring Maurizio Merli and also Thomas Milian. And what a beautiful release this is. Had to pre-order this through Diabolic DVD from the US, and I've first time released on Blu-ray. I've had the bootleg for many years, and it's just great that a fantastic edition was put out. And in this set you get the soundtrack, and it's known as The Tough Ones, the American title. You get the Italian cover, which I'm more familiar with, and you do get Ivan Razumov. He also very popular in Eurocrime, giallo and spaghetti westerns. He appears in this movie, as well as Arthur Kennedy. And you get a booklet, a picture of Thomas Milian, who played the Hunchback in this great Eurocrime movie. And it's two discs, and you get like this this bullet as a little souvenir. But fine release from Grindhouse Releasing, and Maurizio Merli was the top actor in these Italian Eurocrime movies that were very popular in the 70s. Kind of their take on the Dirty Harry, French Connection and Death Wish movies, these Italian Eurocrime movies. So if you love your fast action and high violence, then try some Eurocrime. And it is region free for all you collectors worldwide. And it's a nice 3-disc deluxe edition of a Eurocrime movie that's never been released on Blu-ray. Rome Armed to the Teeth, or The Tough Ones, the US title. The next one is a hip-hop movie, Juice, and in my opinion this is Tupac Shakur's greatest role in his short career, and this is Juice. A very good movie, this one, and this is the US Blu-ray release of this movie. Great soundtrack to this movie. The next two movies are Vietnam movies, probably my favourite Vietnam movies, and had to pick them up for the collection. Picked up the US release of Platoon, a Oliver Stone movie, and this is the Shout Factory Steelbook release. I heard this is the better transfer than the UK release, and it does come with a brand new 4K restoration. Great Vietnam movie, 1986, based on Oliver Stone's experience of being in Vietnam. Great movie with Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger, William Dafoe, who was my favourite actor in this movie, as well as other actors like Kevin Dillon and also Johnny Depp. And this is US release, and it is region A only. But nice looking steelbook of the classic Vietnam movie from the 80s, Platoon. And if I picked up Platoon, I had to pick up Full Metal Jacket, and this is the UK Premium Collection. It's numbered 91, and I decided to pick this one up as I watched a video of Alan, Kermit's Ghost. He showed this one off in one of his collection videos. Shout out to Alan, Kermit's Ghost, another great YouTuber. And it's one of the newer releases from the Premium Collection in HMV. This great war movie. Comes in 3 discs. And you do get a nice sizable booklet of this great movie. They don't normally do booklets from the Premium Collection, Stanley Kubrick. And this movie is kind of like divided into 2 sections, where the first half they're training for Vietnam, and then the second half they go into Vietnam. Matthew Modine, but a great Vietnam movie. There's Matthew Modine, who played Private Joker. There's Private Pyle. Excellent release from the Premium Collection, and just hope that they do more good work and they release these releases with booklets and posters from in future. Great release of a great war movie in Full Metal Jacket. Next one's a German steelbook, and it's The Running Man, one of my favourite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Decided to pick this one up because I was waiting for the UK release of The Running Man, and that was a bare minimum release. Really disappointing, because it's a great action movie, sci-fi action movie that deserved a great release, but Had to pick the steelbook up from Germany. One of Arnie's better ones from the 80s. Cool looking steelbook, where Arnie in this one plays Ben Richards, who gets framed for a massacre during a food riot, and then he gets thrown on TV fighting for his life with criminals as they sort of go in this kind of like gladiator style game where they go up against certain other swordsmen and people that try to take him out, as Arnie fights for his life in this one. Goes through all the levels. This one comes in 2 discs, some special features which the UK release didn't have. That's a nice little looking case of The Running Man. Looking forward to checking this one out. Directed by Paul Michael Glazier, known for his role in Starsky and Hutch TV series, and really looking forward to checking this one out. Late 80s sci-fi action movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Nice release. Last 2 titles are 4K titles, 2 epic movies. Mel Gibson directed and starring in Braveheart. I wanted to pick this up in a 4K release, so I imagine this one's going to look good as an epic movie in 4K. Mel Gibson playing the Scottish warrior. This movie won 5 Academy Awards. This comes with the slipcover, and I got this for the from HMV in the 2 for 30 deal. Braveheart. And the other one I picked up in that deal is The Patriot, another epic Mel Gibson movie, and I actually really do love this movie with Mel Gibson, who is kind of forced to fight against the British in this revolution movie, as he tries to protect his family in this one. And also a great role in Heath Ledger in this movie in The Patriot. But 2 epic Mel Gibson movies that I wanted to pick up in 4K. So guys, that is my movie pickups update for the month of July 2019. Many thanks to the new subscribers to the channel. It means a lot that you guys are watching, and new guys, add a few comments, let us know what you think of these movies, and always try to get back to you as soon as possible. So guys, till the next video, take care, stay healthy and well, and as always, keep on collecting physical media.